Raw 25 is going to take place in two locations tonight. 2 hours of the 3-hour broadcast is going to come from Barclay Center in Brooklyn, and then 1 hour, and I don't think it's going to be 2 hours in Barclays and 1 hour in Manhattan. I think they're just going to go back and forth. The 1 hour portion of the show is going to take place in the Manhattan Center in Manhattan, New York. Both shows in New York City, home of WWE, home of Raw. First Raw was in Manhattan Center. So a lot of legends appearing. I can't go through all of them, but just a whole bunch. I'll talk about them when they appear. Unfortunately, we have to talk about someone, some unfortunate news. And it's not Charlie Caruso looking smoking hot on the Raw 25 pre-show. It's that Enzo Amore has been accused of rape by a woman. She posted on her Instagram post. I believe in due process. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully Enzo is not guilty of this. If he is, then of course he will be released, and possibly, far worse things will happen to him, and rightfully so. But again, believe in due process. W suspended Enzo. Hope it's not true, but if it is, then the hell with him. So this show, the video package to the opening of the show has already leaked. I've seen it. It is freaking awesome. I love it. I don't know if they're going to change the opening, but Vince McMahon treated it, so I guess that is the opening. And that was an awesome video package to start the show. So you have Renee Young looking great on the pre-show. She is previewing the show with David Otunga and that other loser who I don't like. So this show really feels like a pay-per-view. This is like one of the biggest shows that he's going to do. And this is really the go-home show to one of the big four pay-per-views, which is the Royal Rumble, which is probably the second biggest show of the year. So they open up the show in Manhattan Center with JR and the King on commentary, and they play that old siren, that police siren when Raw used to start back in 93. And then they go straight to Brooklyn. We see Shane and Stephanie in the ring, and they thank everyone for 25 years. Not really feuding or anything, and then they play the video package, which we've all seen so many times by now since it was posted all over social media. So Shane and Stephanie are in the ring, and they introduce Vince McMahon, who gets a huge pop. Fans are saying thank you, Vince. Getting a big ovation. He's cutting a babyface promo until Stephanie and Shane present him with a plaque of 25 years of Raw. And he's doing well, and then he turns heel. He rips them for getting him the plaque, and Shane and Stephanie are total babyfaces. And then he starts to rip the crowd, calls Brooklyn cheap. I thought this would probably be in the Manhattan Center, this segment. Then Austin comes out, huge pop for Stone Cold. Massive ovation. Glass shatters. I was just anticipating, waiting for the glass to shatter. Austin doesn't say anything, and Vince is talking. Stephanie leaves the ring. It's Vince and Shane, and Vince, he kind of gets Austin to stun Shane, and Vince and Austin drink a beer. They tease like 3 times when he's going to stun. They hug, and it looks like they're doing a WrestleMania 17. Austin's turning heel, and then finally, after the 3rd time, Austin stuns McMahon, gets a huge ovation. Then he starts to drink beer. He gives a beer to Shane, and he stuns Shane again. Drinks beer, drinks all the way to the back. Awesome moment. Austin stunning Vince McMahon, the biggest thing you associate with Raw. When I think of Monday Night Raw, one of the first things it is the first thing I ever think of was Austin stunning McMahon. So Austin's back. Great moment. He looked huge, so never say never, but I don't think he'll ever wrestle again, but definitely awesome seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin stun Vince McMahon. Now they run through a bunch of stuff that's going to be on the Raw with the current roster, not the Attitude Era. We have an 8-women's tag. Why? Anyway, it's Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James against Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Alicia Fox, and Nia Jax, I guess, is with them now. This is just the way they all them are on the show, and of course, this is a preview to the 30-woman Royal Rumble, which is going to be on Sunday. Kind of forget the Royal Rumble is this Sunday, but I think that's just the reason why this is on the show. So this is the same building that Sasha and Bayley had the match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and Sasha got a decent pop. Bayley got absolutely nothing. That was kind of sad. Also, of course, got the biggest ovation. So Paige was at ringside. They still haven't said she's retired. The match went through 2 commercials. They really wanted to promote, I guess, the women's Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks got the win. She submitted Alicia Fox. So they gave Sasha the win. Thought Asuka would get the win. But then after the match, Asuka destroys everyone. She throws all 3 of them over the top rope. Last being Sasha. So Asuka gets the big Rumble tease. I'm afraid she's not winning. When that happens, usually Asuka's not winning. Sasha got the win, so I don't know. Maybe not her either, but I don't know. I have my doubts about Asuka. After that, we go to a backstage and we see Kurt Angle in his office. Thank God no Jason Jordan. He is Welcomed by Jonathan Coachman. Coachman's there. Then you see a whole bunch of legends. You see the Brooklyn Brawler. You see Harvey Whippleman. You see Teddy Long. You see Brother Love. Then you see the Boogeyman. I think I might be missing someone. He gives the worms to Jonathan Coachman. I was really expecting, all right, damn, Ron Simmons comes. But I guess that might be later on in the show. Maybe see the APA. I wonder how Bradshaw gets treated by the crowd. I don't think they forgot about that Morrow situation. Now, holy shit, we're going to Manhattan Center, I think. Or Barclays, I'm sure. But The Undertaker is back. He's up next. So we're back at the Manhattan Center. You have Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross there. They played the Attitude Era music, Thorn in Your Eye. And you have Jerry Lawler talking about puppies, taking insults at New York. Jerry Lawler's heel. Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross, of course, is great. They show his video package for The Undertaker, which was a really great package. Showing his history, not as in the WWE, but on Raw, which was really good. I really liked it through, since he debuted, since 93 actually, to the... the Ministry of Darkness, the Attitude Era. Of course, they don't show the American Badass, but Undertaker then comes out. They don't even dim the lights. He comes out and with lights on, and he cuts his promo. It's like, he says, "This is sacred ground." Austin, Foley, Kane all had to answer to the Reaper, and then it sounds like he's about to retire. He teases it, but he doesn't. And then it just ends. He says everyone's going to be rest in peace, and the music plays. I don't think this is the last that we've seen The Undertaker in my prediction. I think he'll show up at the Barclay Center. I don't think this can't be the only time we see Taker. He's going to wrestle Cena at WrestleMania, but I think we might see him at Barclays. Then after that, they go back to Manhattan and announce, I guess it's Roman Reigns and The Miz next. So we see the APA. They're in the back. They're playing poker with Heath Slater and Rhino, and it's kind of funny. JBL says, Heath Slater's, "I got kids, you're broke." That was a good pop. So they're talking, and then we see a whole bunch of the money come out, and it's the million that get thrown on the table, and it's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I thought we were expecting more legends on that segment, just trying to get everyone on the show. We didn't get to see Damn. Maybe we're not going to get to hear that tonight. Maybe later in the show. And after that, they go to, they introduce general managers of Raw's past. John Laurinaitis, People Power. William Regal gets a decent pop, and he got a huge pop. The guy was Eric Bischoff. He got a huge pop. They loved Eric Bischoff. And then, Lillian Garcia, who's doing the ring announcing, by the way. And I also forgot to mention, Howard Finkel was one who introduced The Undertaker. So he made an appearance. But they introduced their guest, the SmackDown general manager, Daniel Bryan. He was there. Gets a huge pop. Yes chants like crazy. Daniel Bryan very much over. I've heard the rumors. I don't think it's going to happen. He's coming in the Rumble. I don't think so. Then he's interrupted by The Miz. Everyone hates him. And, of course, Roman Reigns. And Miz and Reigns for the IC titles next. We have a new Intercontinental champion. The Miz beats Roman Reigns, gets a huge pop in Brooklyn. They hate Reigns, so that'll definitely get the crowd into it even more. He wins with the skull crushing, second skull crushing finale after Reigns hit the middle exposed turnbuckle. Also have to say, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Booker T are just awful on commentary. So, I really wish English let JR and the King do the whole show. Well, they did mention this was the 52nd time the IC title changed hands. It changed hands 51 times before this match. So, quite some title changes for that title on Raw. So, when we come back, we go back to the APA office, and they have a whole bunch of guests. They have Jeff Hardy there. They have the Usos. And one guy I did not notice who was there was MVP. They didn't even mention him. Oh, who was that? Wait, that's MVP. That's MVP. MVP was there. They didn't show Matt, of course. He's broken. Then we go to back in the ring. We see Christian having the Peep Show. Too bad Edge wasn't there. Edge, he has contractual obligations to some movie he's shooting overseas, so he couldn't be there. I'm surprised Christian has his own segment because Vince hates him. But he introduces the tag champs, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. So when Jason Jordan is talking with Seth Rollins, they fucking hate Jason Jordan. They're chanting, "You suck." And he is doing a great job. I have to give him credit. I'm not a fan of his, but man, he might get over big. He was doing it so well, just like Kurt. It was really good. I was really impressed. He was just getting milking. The amount of heat he was getting was crazy. And then they're interrupted by the bar. And I'm assuming, okay, Dudleys are coming, APA. Guess no hurry because Matt's doing the Woken thing. But instead, they just brawl with the bar. Seth has to do his dive. It's Raw 25, do his dive. He does 25 of them, 25 dives of Raw. So, hey, why not here? And then Rollins actually takes out Jordan with the flying knee from the top rope. Christian, he exited the ring. I guess they had to do one of the talk shows. I'm wondering where's Jericho. So we'll see when we get to see Jericho. Then after that, we go backstage with Alexa Bliss. She's being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Crowd really liked Alexa. She got a big pop when they introduced her. And she's talking about the Women's Royal Rumble, the 30-woman Rumble. Of course, her and Charlotte aren't in there. And when they introduced Charlotte, she got a big pop. They exploded into woos. Charlotte must have been wearing high heels because we all know how much taller she is than Alexa, but my God, it was so crazy. It was such an insurmountable size difference. It was crazy. She was wearing high heels, I guess. Stephanie used to always do that to look so much taller than everyone. And then she introduces Ric Flair, who gets a huge pop, and they both woo together. They scare off Alexa. Alexa runs off, and I guess it was cool to have the two women's champions interact with each other before the Rumble on Sunday. So they're back at the APA table. There's some people have joined. They show Natalya there, and then they show Dana Brooke with Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil. We still haven't heard damn. I'm sure we're going to get that later in the show. Now Bray Wyatt is out, and he's at the Manhattan Center, which is a surprise. Then Woken Matt Hardy comes out, and I guess they're going to have a match in the Manhattan Center. They have the old referee wearing the old Raw gear, the old referee gear. We'll see how this match goes. My expectations are very low. Bray Wyatt pinned Matt Hardy clean in a horrible match. I'm afraid this is it for the Broken Matt character, or Woken, whatever. Yeah, I'm concerned now. Very concerned. And then they go right to Barclays. They go back to Barclays, and they introduce all the women in Raw history, 25 years. Bella Twins come out. They get a good pop, actually. Then they introduce Marie. She's pregnant. They introduce Kelly. They introduce Jacqueline. They introduce Tori Wilson, who looked amazing. Wow, Tori, I miss her. They introduced Lillian Garcia, who I guess wasn't doing the ring announcing back earlier. I guess I messed that one up. Michelle McCool. They introduced Maria Kanellis. I think I might be missing someone. I probably am. There was no Lita. I was a bit disappointed, no Lita. But the person who gets the big last one, of course, Trish Stratus gets a big reaction. Trish looks amazing. Everyone loves Trish. Such a legend. Gets a big pop. And unfortunately, no Lita. That would have been cool seeing the two of them in the center. But definitely great to see Trish back. They show Elias in the back walking, and there's Chris Jericho, who just gets a massive ovation. And I'm thinking to myself, they have Jericho in the back. He just puts Elias on the list. It was okay. He sang to him, and they put him on the list. It was kind of uneventful. I mean, Jericho would be so over in the main building, but I think everybody was afraid the crowd would just erupt into Kenny Omega chants after the match at Wrestle Kingdom 12, but that's too bad. But I wish they had more for Jericho to do. Omega goes to the ring and he starts dissing everyone. He mentions, he starts dissing legends. He disses Brooklyn. Jimmy Fallon's in the crowd. Insults Austin Foley. Insults The Rock. I mean, I was thinking to myself, this is The Rock's coming. Even though he was announced, Rock's coming. This is perfect for The Rock. The Rock's coming. No Rock, unfortunately. Cena comes out. And just he rips into Elias. This segment sucked. Elias beats up John Cena. I'm thinking to myself, there's something with Cena Undertaker is going to happen. Nothing. That was really disappointing. That segment sucked. That would have been perfect for The Rock, but I guess he couldn't make it. Then they go to the back, APA. They're still going there. New Day's there. They have flapjacks. Eventually, Ted DiBiase wins it all, and Ron Simmons says, damn, finally. They show Mark Henry in the back, and runs into the Godfather with a hoe, and then it turns out to be his wife. Godfather mentions sexual chocolate. That was fine. So I guess that's the end of the Godfather character. He's married. Now we on the 25th anniversary of Raw. We get a tag match with Heath Slater and Rhino against Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, accompanied by Black Dana Brooke. Great. So when they're having the match, ends in a double disqualification. I thought for sure Dudley's would come out. Dudley's are out. You got a big pop, and they just beat up Heath Slater, and everyone else watches, and they put Heath Slater through the table, gets a big pop. That was kind of cool. It was cool seeing the Dudleys back. Devon works as an agent now. I don't know. I think Bubba's still wrestling in Independence. And it was just so annoying seeing the commentators. Michael Cole was fucking horrible here. Him and Booker, the way they're just laughing and snorkeling, it's just fucking brutal. Fuck those commentators. But that was cool seeing them back, and the other guys celebrate with them. So they go in the back, and AJ Styles is interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Then he cuts her off and says he personally suggested his own person to interview AJ Styles, and it is none other than Mean Gene Okerlund. And Mean Gene starts it off, well, you know something, Mean Gene, just like Hogan did. I'm thinking to myself, Hogan should be here. That's bullshit, man. Hogan needs to be there. I know it's PR. I hate what he did. I hate racism, but man, he should be on that show. It's just not right. It's not the same with him. Hogan belongs there. But AJ did a good impression of him, and then they announced DX is coming up next in the Manhattan Center. So when we're in the Manhattan Center, DX comes out. It's Triple H and Shawn at first, and they go off on the crowd. They're going crazy. Shawn, he's so annoying now when he does that old, I'm out of breath. That guy gimmick, it's just terrible. And Triple H is thanking the crowd. He thanks Rick Rude, gets a big reaction. He thanks Chyna, which rightfully so, she so deserves, gets a huge reaction. She should be in the Hall of Fame. And they're celebrating DX. They're going to be around for another 25 years. And the crowd didn't look too happy about that. Neither does everyone else. Great. Another 25 years of these two. And then New Age Outlaws come out. They get a big reaction. They do their shtick. Billy Gunn's back after he got fired a couple years ago for taking steroids and failing a drug test. X-Pac comes out, fans chant 1, 2, 3. He's doing the 1, 2, 3 kid gimmick, and then they introduce Razor Ramon. I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, they're gonna have X-Pac face Razor Ramon. Then I saw the way Razor was walking up the stage. Hell no, Razor just came out and they just played his music and it was like, that's it. I thought they were gonna interact, or maybe they will, but just went to commercial. But it looks like probably not. Okay, so I guess they came back and they show Razor in the ring, and then they all do the Too Sweet thing. And then Balor Club comes out, they get a big pop, and then they endorse the Balor Club. You have all of DX plus Razor endorsing Balor Club. They all do Too Sweet. Revival comes out, I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, these guys are getting buried. But I guess not. It's just going to be a tag match with the Revival against Gallows and Anderson in Manhattan still. Gallows and Anderson go over clean against the Revival, and after the match, they bury the Revival. Whatever. DX, all of them beat the shit out of Revival. They all do it Too Sweet, and they all say suck it, and it was fun. Revival. Kurt Angle's back in the Barclay Center. They're going to do the big, go home segment for the triple threat match at the Royal Rumble. So Kurt Angle brings out all these guys for help, and they introduce all three guys. Braun comes out, King comes out, and they have him in front of them, and they brawl. Then Brock comes out. Heyman introduces him, says he's the only one who's relevant. Then they brawl, and Kane gets taken out early, and then Braun destroys Brock. Power slam through the announce table, just like SummerSlam. That's it. Show ends. Disappointing. Very disappointing. Maybe my expectations were too high, but I was expecting more. That was an unmemorable show. It wasn't horrible, but I thought they were going to get so much more. And it was a better than average Raw, just nothing special.